If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed, a child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener.
An alliance stream tonight, you guys.
Yes,
we have
sir,
been waiting.
We've been waiting for
hear
quite some time.
From the people. And the
Give
people
the people what they want.
All right. So, headphones. Those would be better on my head. And
Sesso in this
not on the
bitch.
floor. Ah.
Got the tits on him, you the clip, put some clips in your hip. I'm such a better piece, dog. He's about to make God.
Thank you for your help. Your assistance.
Even Baghdadi don't want to go to jihad.
Okay.
Now, want to bring him out. Let's go.
Disrespect this. Okay. Let's go. This is a stream. Not now, Apple. The ROA A99 EU SNG Alliance stream.
My
So
God.
A whole bunch of them are coming together.
Who are these people?
Ugh, hold on. ROA is first with psychedelic rock winner, the Dream Syndicate.
Okay, so this is psychedelic rock?
Yep.
Okay, good. As long as it's not progressive.
The Dream Syndicate. How did I get myself here? That is a valid question that probably lots of us have asked ourselves at one point or another in our lives. Rock of Ages. The leader is Misery Biz. And let's see. The comment is, for OSC Trippin's theme, Psychedelic Rock, we got a winner from a Los Angeles band, the Dream Syndicate. They were formed in 1981, and they are an alternative rock band associated with neo-psychedelic and Paisley underground music movement. The winner song is a title track from their 2017 album, How Did I Find Myself Here? This was Slade's pick.
Wayne Chamberlain in this bitch. All right, here we go. Shout out to Slade. Song numero uno is, what'd you say, Crownshift?
Well, the Dream Syndicate.
The Dream Syndicate. How did I find myself here?
How did I get myself here?
Well, this thing says find myself. How did I find myself here?
Let's go with whichever you want. That.
I'm going by the title of the video you downloaded, you weirdo.
Look,
it's saying it right here. Read it.
How did I find myself here? Yeah, that's what I said.
talking.
Oh, what did I say?
No, it's not.
Oh, how did I get myself here is what I said.
All right, guys, here we go. Here we go. Shout out to me. Right as usual. All right, how did I find myself here? Let's do it.
Oh, maybe that's the album. This is the name of the song. Is that the end?
No.
I was gonna say, it seemed a little shorter than I expected.
Prodigal son who could not go on. How did I find myself here? Open wide and I swallowed the tide. How did I find myself here? But I could not conceive. Well, I could hardly believe. So I just had to leave. I'm wondering who put a spell on me and you. How did I find myself here? Tripped up by my own game, so I put my finger to the flame. How did I find myself here? But I just couldn't know what I'd laid out below. So I knew I had to go. I had to go. in impossible tide. So I stepped right inside. How did I find myself here? Refugee who could not see. How did I find myself here? But I could hardly believe what I could not conceive. So I knew I had to leave. I had to leave.
And that's all she wrote for that song. Okay, that was... Who's that now?
That was the Dream Syndicate.
The Dream Syndicate.
Yep. The name of the song was How Did I Find Myself Here?
How did I find myself here?
You see, I fixed my mistakes.
So, how long was the song?
I think they said just over 10 minutes.
10 minutes and what?
I'm going to find out.
30 seconds?
Oh, 11 minutes and 13 seconds.
Oh, they told you it was just over 10 minutes, huh?
Well, no, I mean, look, Misery Biz, a bit over 10 minutes.
A bit over 10 minutes.
Just a tad.
I wonder what those things look like in your world and your planet, Missy. Well,
all right, so...
You know what I always say? If we're going to give it, they should take it. Hat tip to you bums.
Well, no, they took 2 picks.
All right.
This is 2 picks.
Okay. Let's continue. Let's continue.
All right, so...
I'm going to start first about the length of the song.
Okay.
Because this is a pretty unique song to me.
Okay.
Because usually... Okay, I'll just say it this way. The length of this song to me is like exactly what I say about baseball.
Okay.
Baseball is boring to watch but fun to play.
Okay.
Okay, so I love the jam session feel. I loved it. I loved it like, oh, dudes are just in the garage, just picking up off of each other, etc., etc. But we really didn't go anywhere.
Oh.
So I feel like I would have loved playing that. Like if it was me and Archero and then, you know, Peter in the back trying to figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kept playing. I would love to be in a session like that. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as being an observer, not so much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like if I had 2 minutes off of that song, I'd have been all right. So this is one of those like 10 plus minute songs. Because usually when there's a mega long song,
Yeah.
but it sounds good and I'm really into it, it's over sooner than it never feels like.
Yeah, that's what
I felt all 11 minutes of this song. But at the same time, I was completely like smitten with the how live of a jam session feel it was to me.
Okay.
So that's kind of what's going on in my head right now about this band.
Okay. It had a... For me, I wasn't picturing being in a jam session doing it. I was picturing like kind of like basically how we are right now, where we're listening to it here. We've got our friends also listening over live stream. People are going to listen later in the future. But all of us were like in the same field, listening to this song by this little river. And we were listening to this music and everybody was just like chilling out. So nobody was trying to go anywhere for a long time. So the length of the song didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like we were just hanging out.
Right.
So I actually, I enjoyed it. I didn't feel like that it went on for too long. Because in my little vision, we were going to be there all day.
38 minutes and 23 seconds.
Yeah, all 38 minutes and 23
Dwayne.
seconds.
Dwayne, lying bastard.
I thought the lyrics were kind of interesting.
The whole genre of hippie jam bands is rooted in psychedelic rock, so it's pretty well to be expected too. Yeah, you know, the constant monotony, you know, like we're just we're just gonna hang out in this mode here. We're just gonna hang out right here for 11 minutes.
Yeah, but I feel like if we're talking psychedelic, doesn't that mean there was like some level of influence that their mind was under that also was giving them, I mean, psychedelic. That means there's like
But you think they recorded this live?
No, I always wondered if psychedelic is this. I always assumed that it was music meant for those activities, like taking psychedelic drugs or something like that.
You mean like taking shrooms?
Are shrooms the only thing that are considered psychedelic? I didn't want to like narrow it down because I really didn't know.
I mean, that's all I know about it.
Okay, so let's say
You say shrooms.
Shrooms, yeah.
Okay.
So I just assumed it was like, because remember there was like a spot, or as this is how it's perceived, is that there was a chunk of time in like the 60s where they were basically like, you can't tell us what to do, and then people were just, you know, trying out different drugs, and it was kind of like a free-for-all.
LSD too.
Yeah.
Shrooms, LSD, that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know if this music kind of came out of that influence of like the sort of spacey, continuous songs that you would listen to if you were in some weird high.
Peyote, that's more the psychedelic. Somebody said something. Yeah, I mean, all that makes sense. What everybody says. That all makes sense.
So a prodigal son did not go on. How did I find myself here? I felt like he was just putting himself in a lot of different, like, either he was kind of like putting himself in somebody else's shoes, because in one sense he's the prodigal son who could not go on. How did I find myself here? Because that's in the story of the prodigal son. Like he gets to a point where he's like, almost like, I can't keep doing this, and then that's when he decides, you know what, it was better to just be with my father.
Yeah.
So the next one, Open Wide, and I swallowed the tide. How did I find myself here? Did that remind you of, you know, the saying that's like, he bit off more than he could chew?
Yeah.
So this concept of like, you open your mouth and you swallow the entire tide.
Dave, where it was like, he said something about like, getting water from a fire hydrant, basically. You know, like you need it, and then it just like,
it's too much.
It ODs,
Although
that's what I
will
thought.
Say,
like he's like, oh, I'm gonna go and
you bit off more than you can chew.
Get the world and see the world, and
Yeah. When I went to the ocean, like literally that, like this wave hit me at the same time as I was laughing, and it like,
oh my god,
right, and it's so salty. I was like choking on so much salt. I was like, what's happening? Okay, so yeah, we kind of see that one the same.
Like, you know, it's a typical thing. Like, I want to get out of this town. Doesn't matter where you are. If you grew up in one place,
Yeah.
A lot of times people gauge success by being able to get out of that
stay
town.
out of the town, yeah.
Yeah.
And never
Like,
not return.
Well, I mean, look, if you're in your 40s and you want to go back because you've already proven yourself, then it's different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like every kid has that yearning. They want to go outside of,
Yeah.
how they came up with their parents. And then like you want to indulge in everything that the world has to offer because now you're free. Even if you had a good relationship with your parents, like, because in the actual story of the prodigal son, it appears that the dad and the boys had a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always that itch with the kid, man. He wants to get out of there. He wants to do his thing. He wants to make his name for himself out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yep. It is interesting too because when the story completes, you realize that the prodigal son actually lacked a lot of self-awareness. And that's how, he felt like he would be better off to take his inheritance early and to take off. He wasn't ready for that, obviously. He made a lot of foolish decisions, lost all of his money, and then ended up working as a servant in somebody else's,
Pig
farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Which
then realized,
obviously to Jews is terrible.
Yeah.
Because they're an unclean animal.
Right. So at least on his father's farm, he wasn't working with anything unclean. So he's like, I should just go back and be a servant for my father. But, yeah. Anyway.
The next line is, I could not conceive what I could hardly believe, so I just had to leave. That right there, I was like, okay, that's probably the crux of the song.
Okay.
Like, he's a prodigal, and he can't conceive of holding on to something he doesn't believe in. So he's like, he grew this way relative to religion. But, his parents, I'm assuming, are very religious people, but it looks like he just couldn't, and it looked
yeah. Yeah.
Because there are communities, there are certain kinds of faith communities that will encourage you to doubt, that will say, whatever. But there's a lot of subcultures and contexts where that's not the case.
100%.
Where
100%.
you're not allowed to question those things. And aside from question, you're not allowed to voice or vocalize unbelief. There's going to be some sort of punishment. And it doesn't have to be like an institutional punishment, but there's a societal punishment because cultures and subcultures reward behavior that they want to continue and punish behavior that they want to cease. So
and I think that anytime that somebody starts questioning their faith when they haven't been asking those questions, it can make other people that are less sure of their faith be a little bit nervous and uncomfortable. So I think that starts rattling their cage, and they haven't grounded themselves like they should be grounded, and so they need more. They got to go through some more things and learn more about the faith and stuff because they need to be grounded.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. That's a very good point. That got brought up in the boogie last Saturday. Yeah, that's it's a strange thing with our Bible boogie group because we've got a Buddhist, an atheist / agnostic. We've got crazy Christianity. Got another person with some crazy Christianity. It's such an interesting mix of people, and everybody's trying to grapple with these concepts. And it's weird because I sit back, I'm like, these are unbelievers or whatever. But I don't know. It's a weird thing. We're all trying to do this, break it down on a weekly basis and do the things that we're seeing in the Bible, which is kind of weird. But yeah, that's one of the things I see about people who are insecure about their faith. If you're not actively engaging your faith, then that's what's going to happen. But the other side of that is if you're a parent, it's like Muhammad said, there's no compulsion in religion. Just because you're religious doesn't mean that your kid is. And it doesn't mean that you've succeeded or failed as a parent either. That's the other thing, is that we have this simplistic understanding of what will happen. Train up a child in the way he should go. And people take that proverb to the extreme. And then they say, okay, so if the guy went the wrong way, that means necessarily you didn't train him up. That's not necessarily true. Proverbs are what are called truisms. They're not factored in every single time. That's why you have to use wisdom. It's called wisdom literature for a reason.
I also think it says in the end they will not depart from it. So it's sometimes people want stuff on their own timing. So you can see a kid that has been raised in a certain religion, they go completely away from it because they're like, this is a bunch of BS. And then they go out and they test out a bunch of other things. They're like, actually, that's a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
And then they, that's exactly the story of the prodigal son. And so he returns back home after he tries out some of the other stuff that he believed was going to make him happy, that he believed was going to make him feel that sort of completeness. But, he went out there and he tried it, he tested it, and he spent everything he had. So he was just in a bad way. So yeah,
Yeah, you got to be able to accept the unbelief of your children. I mean, I remember
they can come back.
A couple years ago, sitting there playing Fortnite with a couple of the kids, and one of them just straight up said, "Nah, I don't really believe in God anymore." And I said, "Yeah, why is that?" And they're like, all the bullshit that's happened in the last, 6 months, like, why would he let that happen? Now, as a parent, I could go crazy and say, "You're horrible," look at all the other kids in the world are starving or whatever. You're sitting here playing a video game. That's one. Two, you can put on your apologetics hat and say, well, actually, here's my theodicy. Theodicy is a defense of God, specifically in relation to why do bad things happen to good people. Let me mount this theodicy. Man, Shorty said, yeah, why if God was like really good, why would he let this all happen to us? And I said, word, I see what you're saying. I understand that. And that's all I said. And we just kept playing Fortnite. Because there's two reasons, but I'll tell one that's more conceivable to people and believable. I truly believe this stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I love those kids deeply, but if the God that I believe in truly exists, then he loves them way more. And it is understandable that they went through a pretty terrible situation through no fault of their own at a young age. And a lot of these kids grew up in suburbia. So this kind of life is not the kind of life that they... You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of those happening. But the real value is, okay, do you value your family more than anything else? That's kind of the prodigal son situation. And nobody knows the second half to that story.
With the other brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because so the son comes back home, and the other brother's like, yo, why are we throwing a party for the kids? So the dad says, yo, we got to throw a party because, the kid's back. So
slaughter the fattened calf.
Yeah.
This is like a big deal.
The older brother refused to go in. So the dad goes to the brother and says, come on, let's go. Your brother's, hey, let's go. And the kid's like, nah, man, like I stayed with you the whole time. This kid demanded his inheritance and spent it all on prostitutes. Literally says that in the text.
He doesn't say this kid either. He says your son.
Yeah, your
doesn't
son.
Doesn't even call him his brother.
He took all your shit and he spent it on prostitutes. Now he comes back empty-handed, smelling like pigs, and now we're going to slaughter the fattened calf. He's like, I've been staying here working with you the whole time. You didn't even do nothing for me and my friends.
And think about it. The way that their inheritance was at that point, it wasn't like money like people have a 401k. It was in your livestock. So he had to sell off half of his livestock to give the half of his inheritance to that one kid, the prodigal that took off.
Right.
So that means when he returned, the animal that he killed was part of the other kid's inheritance. But it still belonged to the father because he hadn't collected his inheritance. So you could even see in a sense where it's like
yeah, I could relate. So the dad says, listen, man, you're always here. That's the reason. You're always with me. Your brother, but then he looks at the brother and says, he said we had to celebrate.
Yeah.
Because this brother of yours was lost and he's found. He was dead and now he's alive again. So if you plug that into the story, that gives even more context. Maybe there are other family members who are better at it and you just have to leave. You just have to leave and get out of there because you can't mix in with that subculture anymore. And that's a hard thing to do, but millions of people do it. And now the girls are pretty hardcore Christians. I would say they're kind of extremists in certain
respect. But there was no preaching. There was really not a lot of preaching happening. You know, I was just, and it was funny too, because we would do firesides during that period of time, and people were like, what would you say to your kids if they all of a sudden, you know, didn't believe in Christianity?
Well, that happened last week.
What if one of them says that they're gay? It's like, and people were like, yeah, we'll see. It's like, okay. Like, as you're asking that question, like, we're going through all this shit right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I truly believe that, like, God loves them more than women, so he was gonna take care of them.
Yeah, I learned a lot through all of that, because it to me was like, you know, I feel like I've become more like okay with a lot of things, to like realize that everybody kind of takes their own path, and in the end, like, I think if your goal is like you want to find God or you want to find truth, like you're gonna have it and you're gonna find it. So I believe that my kids are on that path and that God is bringing them somewhere. So but when I was in the middle of it and people were announcing, like, because I kind of came from a background where you don't announce that kind of stuff. Like, you internally battle with it, but you can't put
Stay
that
in the
out there.
closet.
Yeah, you do. You don't say that out loud. So that mainly because people didn't, you know, maybe people didn't have the answer for what you were asking. It didn't mean there wasn't an answer there, but you know,
there's just a lot of fear in Christian parenting.
Yeah,
It's just a lot of fear, and I don't know where it comes from. Like, you know, the gossip mill or whatever, but we create a lot of situations like this because we don't give them any room in our subculture, because we're so worried that their unbelief is really going to expose our inner unbelief and doubts about stuff. You know, I think parents who freak out like that are not completely convinced themselves.
Yeah.
Because if you were true, I don't know, Calvinism does have something to do with that. You know, like sovereignty of God. You know, if I was an Arminian, I would probably be a nervous wreck relative to my kid. So, yeah, I'll give that. Yeah. So I love the message of the song. I would have loved to be able to be in the jam session, but it was about 3.5 minutes too long for me.
Well, I was comfortable sitting on the bank by the river with all you people, so I was good with the length of the song. Could have kept going. I'm rolling in at a 9.7 on this one, actually.
I'm gonna give this one a solid 8.8. Solid 8.8. All right, you beautiful people. The morning has just begun, or the night has just begun.
Yes.
We had a few bumps along the way. Some parents just suck, Hunter. I love Jet. Jet, Indian chick. Exactly, Dwayne. Get him, Dwayne. Get him. We'll be back on the other side of the break. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Weirdo.
Buy our merch indeed, a child shall lead them.
To buy our merch. Oh my gosh.
I can't tell you the significance of what your eyes are looking upon. That boy was.
There was this
definitely
piece of
going
tape.
to-
Well, it's like something that was attached to something I bought. A little serving tray. And his headphones were stuck literally on it. So when I pulled the trash, I was like, what is this stuck? And if I didn't look inside, the headphones would have gotten thrown away with this piece of trash.
Yeah.
Terrible.
$500 right down the
My
drain.
word. Okay. A99 emo poll winner.
A99.
Here, you know what, Vinny? I know you're gonna just
What?
rock that title. And
Som Ålskade Varandra Sai Mycket from the band Kontakt. That's the best I could do.
with some guidance from Silver Kyrie, we put together a poll. You're gonna get me that timestamp, right? Focusing on emo and screamo. The poll's winner.
46:45.
Yeah, just tell me after, okay?
Huh?
The poll's winner, picked by Misery Biz, was the song Kontakt by the Swedish band Som Ålskade Varandra. Mycket. The name of the band translates to We Who Loves Each Other So Much, which also shares a title with an Italian movie from 1974. He found this song through a charity album called You Matter Part 2. This was put together to help with a suicide prevention charity in the UK. Wow, that's cool. Misery Biz and OCS Tripping helped to get us translated lyrics, so big shout out to them.
Hey, for real, for real.
Mm-hmm. I will ship these to you.
Just want you to know, sorry, Joe Biden is skipping the Paris Olympics just to watch us. He says we're his favorite Americans, so.
What can be
Shout
said?
out to Mr. Biden.
What can be said? We're so
Shout out to
happy
Mr.
you
Biden
came.
skipping the Olympics to watch us.
Yeah, that's as
You
it
know, the
should
Olympics have
be.
been done for like a week and a half.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
All right.
All right. All right. So let's do this. You said 46:46. Is that what you said?
46:45. Here we go.
45.
Världar förändras. Färger och smaker. Sen du kom hit. Jag har förändrats till något bättre. Sen du kom hit. Men förstånd jag inte trodde var möjligt. Saker som var still för de andra. Du såg mig, jag såg dig. Sen fanns det bara vi. Du får mig till världen i färger. Det ger mig hopp om att människan är bra. Du såg mig, jag såg dig. Sen fanns det bara vi. Du ger mig viljan att försöka bli bättre. Du får mig känna att jag gör något bra. Du såg mig, jag såg dig. Sen fanns det bara vi. Två världar som möts och blir en. Två människor som möts och blir vi. Två öden som möts och förändrar allt omkring oss. Två vägar som möts och leder till en plats som bara blir vår. Jag som hjälper man. Jag som
gosh.
That was intense, man.
That was incredible. Oh my gosh, that was such a good song.
I completely disagree with the comment section.
What are they saying?
The vocals. I love those vocals.
Oh, me too. That's desperate sounding vocals. You know how I feel about that.
Yeah, but it was like real.
Dark and so real, and
it wasn't a technique.
Yeah, it felt
why,
like it came from a soul instead of a.
That's why I love the vocalist from Magua. It's the same thing.
Ah, okay.
Like
I should listen to them
really,
again.
Really miserable. Yeah.
This one was
the vocals were incredible.
Yeah.
That like, but I get it. If you'd have played that without the music, I'd have been like, oh gosh, here we go. But the music itself was very post rock. You remember on that thing I put it on post punk, how beautiful everything sounded?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely had that post punk feel to it for sure. With that, and then they used the vocals that were like, I don't know if this is just this band's sound or if they did it for this one song, but it was incredible to me. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I hear you. I wonder if they have more songs that are, if they're all like that as his style.
Yeah, I don't know if he just had like a moment or something, but and then the tremolo picking, the music was just so beautiful. And it's like they were not afraid to underlay beautiful, pretty, satisfying music over these vocals that were really challenging you as a consumer. You know, so it's kind of like they're like, all right, we're gonna really challenge you with the vocals. So here's some, you know, sugar in the medicine, because you got this crazy, you know, tremolo picking that's just beautiful throughout.
I always like it when I feel like the music matches what the song is about. And this one I really felt like it did. I felt like that the way that the song like journeyed, I felt like we could feel what he was talking about. And I also think that because he sounds like a sort of dark person that's sort of hopeless all the time just by his own like natural state.
Yeah.
And it sounds like somebody came into his life that completely like, not completely changed him from that, like, but he says worlds change, colors and flavors since you came here. I have changed to something better since you came here. There are things I didn't think were possible, things that existed for others, which I'm assuming is love.
Right.
And then he said, you saw me and I saw you, then it was us. So you make me see the world in colors. You give me hope that man is good. So you know, that gave me the, you know, obviously the idea that he, aside from her, I'm assuming it's a her. I actually feel like this song could be like a person singing to God, because I definitely think that like changes you when you get that experience of God. It's like opens your spiritual side. It's crazy. So I definitely think it fits in that regard. But I think he's talking about meeting a girl. But the way that he like was singing it, like it was so desperate, that to me was like, if that was him at his rawest form, and then you have all the beautiful music in the background, which I think represented her, and so the two of them together come together in the sound of the song as well as in the lyrics, and it was beautiful, really, really beautiful. I loved it, and that vocal style is just crazy because it's weird because it's not beautiful in it's like a sonically a sound that sort of draws you in, but it feels like it draws you in by way of like the deeper, darker side of our souls that like
beautiful. The way that Passion of the Christ was a beautiful film.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, good example. Yeah. So I mean,
it looks like though that he lost his chance with this girl. And that's what he's fucked up about, because it says, me who gave up everything, me who stopped believing, too many hits to get up, then you came. It says, then you came. Me who wasted my chance, I who lost everything. A broken heart and a broken soul, then you came and made me whole. There are things that you made, and he repeats it again.
Yeah.
But then he keeps talking about missing something or whatever. So I don't know if...
I just thought he was basically saying, like, literally everything in my life has been a giant fuck up until you came in. That's how I took it. Like, he missed opportunities, he lost everything. But, well, over here, though, it says, you saw me and I saw you, then it was just us. Oh, life gave me several chances. After all that I wasted. So, you know, I think he's just looking at it as all the things that just brought him to that point that he failed or that failed him. She stands outside of that because she actually gave him a chance, and she's, you know, the only thing, like, I love the song. I think it's, like, beautiful and it's romantic and stuff. I do think, like, I would be, like, if this was one of our sons, I'd be worried that he's putting too much into this one girl.
I'd be worried for the girl.
That too.
That's a lot of weight.
That's true.
But you know, like, if I think every relationship is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that might just be how they talk. You know what I'm saying? And it might be a really be a really healthy thing.
That's true. Yep.
You know, but at the same time, like, I mean, you're all this and more right now. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you know, you're doing that right now for me. Hopefully, it's not definitional of our relationship, but it's definitely what's happening right now. And yeah, as a dude, like, yeah, you think about a lot of shit, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And you know, like, it's just, at the end of the day, like, people talk about gender roles and the oppression of the patriarchy, whatever it is. It's like, man, sometimes, like, there are problems that dudes have that only your girl can address. I'm not even talking about sexual anything. I'm just saying, like, your girl occupies a place in your heart that's different from anyone and everyone. I've had best friends. I've had people who I know literally would die for me. Like, I know they would. Like, I have definitive proof they would die for me. And they believe, you know, vice versa about me, but none of them occupy, you know, and I've had experiences with them that I haven't had, you know, that I'll never be able to have again in the world. Like, I also know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but like, she occupies just a completely different place in my heart. And so, yeah, I would say all that, but it is a lot of pressure on you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, where we are right now, like, I can't imagine that being definitional of our relationship. Like, that's a lot for a woman to carry, you know? But at the end of the day, man, it's just, I get it. Like, we're advanced, we're progressing, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, man, like, that's the building block of society. It just is, you know? Mm-hmm. So, it's, it's a really interesting, it's a beautiful song for me to see because of the whole, I've been extremely troubled about all this manosphere stuff, all the Andrew Tate stuff. Andrew Tate's under arrest again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. It's just, I don't like the concept as a whole. Mm-hmm. And I don't like the constant, like, I was just watching another, I'm not even going to repeat it, but like, man, we need each other. Like, you know, we don't need to be talking about how bad, horrible women are. Women don't need to talk about how, you know, like, it's all this assertion of power. And then you have a song like this where a dude is saying, like, yo, this is where I am right now. And, like, the only person on the planet that could have solved this for me was you, shorty. So, you know, like, that's the shit that we need to be looking at. Like,
yeah, it's weird, too, because you remember being a kid and, like, the whole, like, you know, like, remember how the girls and the boys, like, they cooties and, you know what I mean? Like, and so you figure that by the time you become adults, they figure that out. But then you see the newscaster saying, like, emasculating this guy on it's just weird. Like, just seeing, like, like you're saying, like, this battle of the sexes that it's like, how, you know, we want to cut each other down, like, way down. It's like, why? Yeah. What happened to building each other up and then finding a new norm? I don't know. It's just, But yeah, I see what you're saying, you know.
But this is what I'm talking about, like that Chesterton quote. If you see guardrails, you better figure out what the fuck those guardrails are there for
before you
start coloring outside the lines.
Yeah.
There's a reason there's lines. As a matter of fact, you have to learn how to stay within the lines to be able to learn how to deviate from them. And so, like, yeah, man, like, I get it. Women aren't perfect, but holy hell. Like, there's just so many things that it's almost even laughable to me that anybody other than your wife would solve the problem. Like, you know, all the hospital shit, all the, you know, whatever. Like, people, like, we don't voluntarily go to those places. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you'd be surprised at how inept a lot of high-performing dudes in certain areas are when it comes to their own health. But she's been my lawyer, the ambassador, doctor, counselor, you know, phone a friend, like, literally, you know what I'm saying? So I like this song for that. Like, for that, finally, but we got some dudes saying some positive shit about women, you know, in a kind of a real world setting, because life is difficult. If you see the lyrics here, life is difficult, man. You know, people get bad phone calls. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm very, very grateful to you, and I'm very grateful for this song because it really kind of hit exactly kind of how I feel about this season of my life. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the song as well. It's definitely on the list for me too. And, you know, a lot of the ways that I've been able to be supportive to you, you have no idea how many of those things were revamped versions of how you helped me when I was at my bad point. So, it's karma.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
You reap what you sow. Anyway.
Is Sawyer a pretty good lawyer? Sawyer's a really good lawyer.
Look out.
That girl wants to get busy. It's over with. All right, guys. We will see you on the other side of the break.
Yes, we will.
All right.
Right
So,
back.
wait. What did you get the song?
Oh, this is a 10 for me.
Yeah, it was a 10 for me, too.
It was a 10.
So, that was the emo poll winner?
Oh, that's right. Was it? Yeah, it was emo and screamo.
I was about to give them a letter.
I hope we get more of this
I was about
band.
to give them a lettered rating.
Oh, really?
It was like that close to being a
Well,
lettered
why
rating.
didn't you?
I don't know.
I hope
The lettered ratings kind of happen only once or twice a year.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm
this
saying?
This is so good. Okay. All right, we'll be right back, you guys.
It's a good point, so we need a button or something for all these 10s. We'll see you bums on the other side of the break. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go. Wait, who did that last pick?
Oh, that was 2 people, I thought, right? Was it? Misery Biz and OCS Tripping. Oh, no, that's to get translated. Who did pick this song?
Yeah, whoever picked that song, I need to know. I want to get that guy a point because that's how important the song was. Seriously.
Oh, it was picked by Misery Biz.
Misery Biz.
The full
Congratulations,
name is by Misery
bitch.
Biz.
Misery Biz has a point.
Biz.
He has a point. So I wanted to get that before we went to commercial. All right, Miz, you got a point. Good pick, man. Really, really good pick. Unique band. Unique
Oh my
sound.
gosh, I hope we get more.
Something we've never heard before.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
hope
really
we get
hard
more.
to not listen to more of that.
Yeah, because I want to see. Now I'm like, are they one-hit wonders? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I feel like we might have heard, maybe it was a band similar to them, but it definitely had that sort of vocal style that we like.
Ain't no band similar to this band.
Well, I don't know if it was the band.
Can you tell these kids to put on some of the freaking AC?
I did. I said it 3 times. I
hate these children.
I
All right, commercial break with Sean Todd. I'm Ben.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. It's how I lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We are in the midst
Of an alliance stream. Up next is, let's see, which band, not which band, but which group. It looks like we have EU.
the heat. Kids failed us. Look, it's burning up. Hold on, kids. Look at that. I've been telling you for an hour to get
Well, I
that
know,
thing up.
I don't know what's going on. Perhaps we need to...
Stand by, ladies and gents.
Okay.
What happened to my eggshells? My egg cartons? See, look, see.
It's coming back, yeah. Here's one.
Okay, we're back now.
We're good?
Yeah. Slow motion. Thanks, kids, for putting me
Alright.
on the AC when we asked you to do it an hour ago. Read it.
They're like, got it. All right. Crownshift. Give me this. Timestamp 112.
Room 112, where the
All
players
right.
dwell.
Epic Underground. The leader is Archero.
Archero in
Here
this bitch.
is a picture of the band playing over there.
Excellent.
And Archero says a few members of the Epic Underground astutely pointed out that we had never had a poll featuring groove metal. And it was time to remedy that deficiency. The winner of the poll was chosen by yours truly. I very coincidentally listened to this band for the first time while we were taking poll submissions. And
Is that
quickly,
so? Is that so?
substituted it for one of the other songs I had considered. Crownshift is a brand new band from Finland featuring members of Children of Bodom, Nightwish, and Fintroll.
Whoa.
Their music is eclectic, with some songs behind being more melodic death, some more power metal, and of course, this song leaning into groove metal. This is from their 2024 debut album. This picture of the band was taken by Misery Biz at Nimarock Festival this June. Huh.
All right. And you're sending me the lyrics?
I am, as we speak.
Excelente, excelente. All right, guys, here we go. Song número 3. What'd you say? Warlock?
No. The name of the
Crownshift.
song is, it's Crownshift, Stellar Halo.
So this one right here?
Stellar Halo. Whatever.
That does not look promising.
Yeah, remember I said the Stellar one, the one Halo? I was like, I don't know if that one downloaded. Vinny will get it to us. Vinny will make it happen. You guys, we're gonna do a random Ask Me Anything. Also, if you're on Patreon, there's a poll up over there finding out if anybody is interested in the Wolverine Deadpool movie, or I don't know which order that goes in. Deadpool, Wolverine, I don't know who comes first. But let us know via voting on the Patreon platform. Let us know what you have, okay? If you're interested in that.
Can you send me that link? Por favor.
Okay. Here you all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have the people asked you a question yet?
Not sure. I'm flipping over to it. Oh, yes. A random ask me anything. I should have a book ready. Oh, look at that. Applejack. Thank you for your super chat. Oh, okay. Are you familiar with?
Yeah.
Ah.
Do it. Read it out loud.
Super chat time. We are raising money to assist the poor of Menor by the Lake. RBN is helping. So far, 2,000 raised. Savage Gang. R.I.P. Philly.
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 That's big bro. That's the big homie Applejack, always doing something for other people. Crownshift Stellar Halo. All right, here we go. Do you have the comment section up?
I have the comment section on Rumble. I'm getting the other one.
Come on, ladies and gents. Nobody has any questions while I work out this technical difficulty?
Dwayne is complaining that he's the only one. Oh, you guys, on the Rumble side, if you guys get enough likes or dislikes, we need at least double digits. So we need at least 10 over there. This is just the starting platform for that. So we just need 10 likes. And if you get 10 likes, then we put your lights flashing. And then you guys say a number. And you can win this shit. So we have Stellar. Okay, I have the comment section about ready to pull up on YouTube. So if you had any ask me anything, now's the time.
What's your favorite?
Does Ben snore? Not usually. Once in a while. I'm pretty sure I snore more than you do. How often do I snore?
Oh, that's them. No comments.
I definitely snore every time I'm pregnant.
I'm not gonna comment.
Oh no. Must be every night. All night. Okay, Dwayne, what's your question? I asked one, said Neil. Okay, Neil.
What's your
Pantera
favorite
or
barnyard animal?
What?
Somebody asked what your favorite.
What's your favorite barnyard? Oh, my favorite barnyard animal. Well, to be honest with you, I think I just like everything in its mini form. So the kittens, the newborn, everything that's when it's like new, the tiny bunnies, the tiny chicks, like everything when it's just a baby. It's so cute. So I'll say the mini versions of everything that's there. But if I had to pick one,
What? Did you got that from the official?
I just grabbed the link and started downloading. No, I was doing the job of.
Or was this Archeros? See how it says Archero right there?
Yeah.
Was that the one?
Must be. I'll go click on his link if you want. Or do you want me to just talk to the people?
I've been wanting you to talk to the people.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your favorite color of the alphabet?
Color of the alphabet?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, I believe it was a trick. And we figured it out. Dwayne, we're still ready for your question. Controller. How old are you turning on Monday, Hunter Lewis?
Hunter's birthday's coming?
Apparently. Sorry, did you and Vin watch all season? Yeah, well, are you all caught up? Because last I said you guys. Wait a minute.
The boys?
Yeah, we watched.
Yeah, we're all caught up. We're waiting for the last season.
Oh, here comes Dwayne. Just repeating the same phrase.
What?
He just keeps saying.
Calling out
yeah,
your
he has a
racism
question.
again?
He has a question. I asked the question. I've seen it. Okay. Of villains, I am more fascinated by the Joker and Dr. Hugo Strange. Yeah, I wonder if what villain are you the most interested with?
Bane, obviously.
Oh, that is so obvious. You're right.
What are you talking about? I used to introduce myself.
Yeah,
as
I know. The
Brown Bane.
I do remember. Okay, I think for me it was always like the concept of Joker was so like, you know, like the whole idea that he can't be bought. He's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is like, oh no. Oh yes, Dwayne, we are so ready for your question. We've been ready. We're on the edge of our seats.
This freaking Crownshift thing is a pain in the bum. Damn you, Archero.
What was the last thing that you ate that burned the roof of your mouth? Well, for one,
What kind of question is that?
my tea, and then before that it was, but that was tea. What was the thing that I ate? I don't think I've burned the roof of my mouth in a long time. I'll burn the tip of my tongue from eating something too quickly. I'm like, oh, and that was I'd like to taste stuff while it's cooking, so I know for sure we're headed in a good direction. And sometimes I just get like too quick about tasting it, and then I burn my mouth. So it was probably when I was cooking. What about you? When's the last time you? Vinny waits till his food gets cold before he starts eating.
Yeah, this way I don't burn the roof of my mouth.
Yeah, it's never happened.
Ask another question.
Sorry. Why did you give my favorite Beatles song a 3.5? Because I didn't like that song, and I thought that it was
That was the Goo 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 Tube, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's just.
It was just
kinda-
it felt like a
It's kind of suspect. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah. I was like, what's going on? This is no. I mean, I can't lie. Have you seen our commercial, Dwayne?
Right, we can't guarantee you a positive review, D.
We've said it
You
a
feel
bunch of times. It's like a disclaimer at the beginning of our of our streams and everything. I love the Joker too. Ra's AI, Ghoul Bane, Lex Luthor. Oh, there's a lot of bad guys that you like. Sorry, why did you hurt my feelings?
Hey, that hurt me.
Yeah.
You know what he's supposed to say?
Hey, that hurt me.
Alright, we got it.
Uh,
Crownshift Stellar. The mountain won't come to Muhammad. If Muhammad can't go to the mountain will come to Muhammad, inshallah. Alright, guys, here we go.
let's do it.
Let's do it. Here we go. Crownshift Stellar Halo. Ah! Sounds like some 80s shit. Like one of them 80s movies. Okay. You got the lyrics? Okay, let's go! Stellar Halo.
Crownshift.
Crownshift.
Stellar Halo. Yep.
This is the supergroup though, right?
Yeah.
This is the Languish and all them other people showing
Yeah.
up. This is like one of the first times I've seen a supergroup where it's like the music is like definitively different.
Oh, okay.
From what the band usually, like the
Yeah.
guy in Nightwish. This doesn't sound like Nightwish at all. Like that's kudos to this freaking band, man, because they really sound like something different. They don't sound like, it doesn't sound like Nightwish with a different singer.
No, not at all.
Right? Like, that's what I mean. A lot of these bands, like, they're like that. They're like, oh, you sound like the band that you're in, except with a different singer, you know? But this didn't sound like Nightwish. It didn't sound like a lot of these bands. They did a really good job.
Yeah, they got their own thing going.
And I loved...
These candies are sour.
What do they call it? The groove metal or whatever? I loved it because it was kind of thrashy without the palm muting. It was kind of like going, like, the RPMs were up higher, but a lot of it was like open note playing. So I thought that was interesting because that's what I was going for in our first song was the, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I was trying to combine both of those. So that's a really...
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it obviously did not come out like this, but, that was kind of what I was going for.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Children of Bodom. Does this sound more like a Children of Bodom song? They sound like they put a bit of European melodeath into American groove metal. Yeah, man, like, whatever they did, I was a real fan of it. They did a really good job, in my opinion. I love, like, music that gets you to move, and the way that they were handling those open notes was crazy. They did a really, really good job. Really good job.
Yeah, I felt it with, I enjoyed the sound of the song. I'm interested to see you kind of like go over the lyrics.
Okay. Watch me go towards the light to the place I've never been before. See, part of me feels like this is like a concept record with some sort of sci-fi theme to it.
See, yeah, it felt spacey to me.
Like it felt like, it felt like, oh, we got a sci-fi thing here.
Yeah.
And it's something about like getting off the planet so that we can populate another planet or something like that. I'm not sure. But it's what it sounds like. It sounded like in the song anyway.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
Watch me go towards the light, to the place I've never been before. Unlock the chains now, rising beyond perception. As a deity upon your words, set forbidden dreams free.
Keep going.
Okay.
Through the burning world, I'm surging to the sun. See? It's like the world that they're in is collapsing, pollution, whatever it is, and they've got to get out and escape to another planet, it looks like. See what I'm saying?
That's so interesting because I was picturing, like at first when it initially started, I was picturing like a person that was like growing as a person, but going toward the light to a place they'd never been before. Because they say like, your life keeps landing you in the same place, and you're like, why is the universe doing this to me? Or am I being punished and all this? And then it's like, it's really not that complex. It's just you keep making the same decisions that bring you to the same end result. At some point, you have to change something. You have to do something different.
Agreed.
So when it said the beginning, I thought that's what we were talking about. Watch me go toward the light, to the place I've never been before. Unlock the chains now, rising beyond perception. Because I think that sometimes we don't go somewhere because we perceive ourselves to be unable to move to another level on something. As deity upon your words, set forbidden dreams free. But then, the burning world, I'm surging to the sun, watching the stars realign. Again, when it got into that part, I just thought it was like the person, like, kind of like realigning themselves with, again, like becoming a better person, but realigning themselves with who they should be. And like, like when you're.
I mean, it could be. It just seemed like because it talked about a stellar halo.
Yes.
It just seemed like, and that's Elon is talking about that. Like, we need to go to Mars. We need to think about going to Mars to like propagate the species because of, if you look at, climate change or whatnot, we're pretty much past the event horizon theoretically. So that's a big theme for Elon. And when it talks about as a deity upon your word, set forbidden dreams free, I I do think at some level it's man's dream to explore the stars, right? Explore the universe. You know, we've always looked up. I forgot what the quote was, but it was something about such and such and such. We would not have Beethoven if we didn't look at the stars or something like that. So this to me, I was just in this futuristic mindset. Your planet is all screwed up. Everybody's destroyed the planet. And now we're going to go look into it, you know, try to get to another place.
We wouldn't have Beethoven if we didn't have the stars?
If people didn't look up to the stars. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because now, like for us, like that, we're always looking at the stars now. And, you know, we're seeing shooting stars, all the rest of it. It inspires a lot of wonder, a lot of art, that type of thing.
Yeah.
A
lot of discussions, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, through the burning world, I'm surging to the sun, watching the stars realign, connecting the dots, coalesce to one unity, or unify. Yeah. Which, obviously, if you guys are the first humans on this new planet, then obviously we would have to all get together and unify, because otherwise we're not going to make it. I am the starlight, and the hues of your confined domain shine over your blindfold, extracted from the fire, defying all the principles, form a new existence. That goes to your reading, which would be kind of a little bit more metaphorical and not a sci-fi, which is basically, I am the starlight, and the hues of your confined domain, right? Like, so like on the one hand, the stars are like out there beyond our reach, but on the other hand, it's the same hues or colors of this person's confined domain. So they're trying to tame something that should just be left to the wild, basically, is how I interpret it.
Okay.
And, you know, mankind is always trying to harness something. How do we harness the power of the sun? Like, we don't just let the thing exist for the sake of its own beauty. We always got to do something to it to, you know, to take advantage of it or exploit it somehow.
Doesn't,
yeah.
Doesn't that kind of also sound like sort of like the last song a little bit? I am the starlight in the hues of your confined domain. It almost sounds like, how would starlight stand out in a situation like that? If it fits in the same hues of where it's confined to.
Well, I am the starlight in hues of your confined domain. So that would be just life as they see it, right? It's only those specific colors, even though the stars have the capability of a completely different set of colors. So to me, it's dealing with the fact that that this is not something we can really tame because it's so high above us. But at the same time, it goes with us not wanting to see things outside of a certain zone because we can't control it. Which, you know, Galileo famously, you know, said, hey, if you just look into this telescope here, you'll see that I'm right about us rotating around the sun instead of vice versa. And they wouldn't do it.
What?
They wouldn't do it because that would disprove all of their, you know, whatever. And then they'd have to redo their theology. They'd have to admit that the Bishop of Rome was wrong. You know, what about the Bible? You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't Joshua stop the sun? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And so they were, you know, so Galileo ended up in the tower, all that shit. Like, he was originally, people don't understand it. He was funded by the church. He was funded by the church. It wasn't that he was like some crazy radical, like, he was a Catholic. He was a faithful Catholic. And he was just like, he didn't see any danger to the faith by saying that we revolve around the sun. Like, he didn't see that as going to be the end of the world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's going on? Hey, Jet, what's going on? Why do we need to pray for Jet? What's going on with Jet?
Right there.
I have to get over early to go to school to get my locker and schedule and stuff. I'll probably tie, so I'll miss you all. Okay. All right. Lord Jesus, give Jet a calm and a peace, and help her to have a great day, actually, because I know she will live and not die. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Love you, Jet. You're going to crush it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Then after you go, you can send us an email after you committed your first day back to school, and we'll send you a free Vin and Soy shirt so you can go out there and represent. Okay. So we're going back. Yeah. Shine over your blindfold, extracted from the fire, defying all the principles to form a new existence, right? That's kind of what the entire Western world is undergoing right now with this UAP stuff. The response of people is so strange to me. Like, This dude who's just working in our government literally just wrote a book where he said the Roswell crashes were real.
Yep.
That it was a non-human vehicle and non-human biologicals were in fact taken from this site. This guy worked in the highest levels of intelligence, crazy record, and he just came out in his book, yeah, the Roswell, that was all real. And like, it's so weird. Nobody's talking about it. Like, it's what? You got high official government entities admitting this stuff, saying this stuff.
Yep.
And we're all just going around like, wait, what? Okay. It's kind of crazy. So it's kind of like people see what they want to see, because I think what's happening with people is like they're so fucked up over the economy and all these wars. It's like, what do the space aliens have to do with this inflation?
They're not here yet.
It has nothing to do with
that mindset.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with inflation.
Yep.
If the aliens would have showed up, or if the government would have been amenable to talking about the aliens during the Clinton administration, it would have been different.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would have been different.
Yeah.
Russell says, I think it was craft that we got from Germany and we crashed one. Very possible. Very possible.
But that doesn't explain the beings that they have collected.
Yeah.
They weren't Germans.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, there is a lot of like gatekeeping in the scientific community though, relative to this discussion. And that's part of the conflict where you have guys like Jacques Vallée and Hal Puthoff. These are recognized experts in their given field, doctors, philosophers, doctorates 3 or 4 times over. These are really serious people who are making definitive statements about the fact that we're not the apex predator, even on our own planet at times.
Yep.
So it's like...
Yeah, they're making these statements when historically coming out and saying those things ended your career.
Yeah.
You're still coming and you got looked at like a crazy person. So,
yeah.
You know, the tides seem to be turning a little bit, but that doesn't mean they're going to keep turning. Like all of a sudden people could flip back. So like these people, they're out there taking a...
It's really interesting where like we know what religious gatekeeping looks like.
Yeah. But
our secularist friends at times don't understand that is not a exclusive feature of religion.
No, it's a human
nature. That
nature.
is human nature. If you look at it, like Neil deGrasse Tyson right now, probably one of the most famous physicists in the world, but one of the most disliked. And a lot of it has to do with his dismissive attitude towards UAP, for example. And he's like, how come there were never any pictures? How come nobody knew about this until 2017? And we're like, what are you talking about? People have been talking about this shit for decades. The government just kept saying it was crazy talk, but the Phoenix Lights, like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And so it's incredible to me. Here's Controller. I enjoyed a good sci-fi story, but the thing is, I see no reason to care about this alien and UFO stories. No influence on my life. I guess it's what they're banking on. I know what our country's gonna do. That would fuck up your life, though. Our country, if them things are really in the air and if them things are really crashed, our country is been working since the early 40s on reverse engineering that shit. And if one of us found some shit, then it's gonna affect your life. I promise you. I promise you. We're not gonna take that technology as Americans and be like, let's see how we can heal the world. We see aliens all the time. Open borders. I'm of the line of thinking that there probably are aliens. Very hard to believe any could traverse the unfathomable distance to reach us here. Yeah, I mean, 400 light years or whatever. Of course, that assumes that these beings are operating in our 4-dimensional space-time continuum. If these beings are operating interdimensionally, then there is no problem relative to how to get here, right? So Jacques Vallée and all those other guys look at these beings as being interdimensional, not interstellar. And I think that dovetails quite nicely with the data that we're seeing, especially in the maneuvers that a lot of these ships, drones, whatever you call it, are making. which are again defying a parent in the books and everything. Even in the .gov website, they'll say defying the laws of physics.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like that seems so arrogant. It's like defying known laws of physics.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just so, but these are Western scientists, and so it's like, hey, if we don't understand it, it's defying the law of physics. We can't just say, maybe there's a whole bunch of physics we don't know yet. Mm-hmm. We got to say that these things are defying the law of physics. So everybody has a religious mind with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, that can't happen, and that's not supposed to be. And then you got Neil deGrasse Tyson. Why isn't everybody? And he mocks people who are, Gary Nolan has got multiple patents and made millions off of his patents. And he's saying he's doing this by interfacing with the noosphere. Yep. And then, here's Neil deGrasse Tyson, who hasn't invented a thing in his life. And if you ask a lot of these physicists, he's almost PNG'd. Like, he's almost persona non grata over there because he's just so close-minded. I mean, me personally, I believe he's a CIA asset, honestly.
Oh, really?
I really do. But yeah, like it's crazy. It's crazy. What do I think the UAPs are? I mean, I do think it's pertinent to this thing because I think there are going to be more songs like this in the next coming. The next kind of brand of
agree.
There's going to be some sort of cosmic humanitarian secularism that's going to arise in the next 3 to 5 years, and it's going to have cosmic in it. I promise you, it's going to be some sort of cosmic unified blah 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 ism that's going to have a worldview that encompasses these beings now. And where we put them on the pecking order is going to be very, very interesting.
That's wild.
Very, very interesting.
That is wild.
They are here. They always have been, and they're probably not our friends. Well, it's crazy because I think some of them are our friends. This has been documented. They showed up over nuclear sites and disabled our rockets. Conversely, over at the Russian side, they observed craft above their nuclear facilities. But in that case, they armed the missiles and aimed them towards America. The Russians literally had to call us and say, yo, this is not us.
We're not doing this.
We're not doing it. So, like, our government and our governments have been having these discussions. Like, you can see it now, FOIA requests. Like, literally, we had these discussions with these Russians about, who's doing this. So, the dude in the Rendlesham Forest situation where he saw a down UFO craft and actually touched it and then it whizzed away, he's collecting disability for the rest of his life because after that incident, he's been fucked up ever since. But he got granted disability for the rest of his life.
Yeah, why? Yeah,
exactly. And it was
because of that.
Because of the Rendlesham incident. So, like, it's crazy. I just think people don't want to see it. And, like, I see it right here, too, in this song. Like, people are terrified. They're calling it ontological shock. Because if you grew up as a good secularist, you just believe that we were the apex predator, that the earth was our domain. And now, when you hear that we're not the apex predator, it's very destabilizing. Whereas,
100%, yeah.
Whereas, if you had a theistic worldview, we were never the apex predator. We were always fighting these beings that communicate telepathically and all the rest of it. We've always been doing that. So the secularists show up now and say, okay, now you can believe in beings who are not very nice, who can communicate telepathically and have cloaking devices so that you can't see them. So now secularists are saying it's okay to believe that. So now we're okay to believe it.
It's crazy.
But we're going to mock people that have been doing this for thousands of years, call them cavemen, all this other shit. But now that the folks in the light lab coats have said that these things exist and that they can communicate telepathically and they have coping mechanisms that can cloak 400-yard ships and all the rest of it, good luck. We're in a lot of trouble, in my opinion.
Applejack says, super chat time. Will my activism get me into the Vincenzory Discord?
Yeah.
Do you need me to send you
Discord?
the link?
What Discord is he talking about?
I think he's probably looking to get to the alliances. So, I mean, he's done enough over here to be able to get into that. So you want me to just send you the link and you send it to him?
Yeah.
Might be the simplest. All right. Applejack says, cough, cough, my birthday is September 29th. Oh, it's coming right up.
Yeah. So I'm just a mess. I'm so fascinated by this UFO thing.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to figure out what's the angle.
Yeah.
What are they trying to hide?
Yeah.
Because if you're disclosing this, that must mean that
There's
it's only
something
valuable in hiding or distracting from something else. You know, I have no idea. All I do know is that whether you're a secularist or a theist or anything in between, like, all of us got to be paying attention to this shit. Mm-hmm. Because I think if there's anything that secularists and Christians and whatever can believe, it's that our government is corrupt as hell.
Yep.
And if they got across such technology, they're probably not going to use it for good. So,
I mean, look what they did with the atomic bomb.
Right.
As soon as they didn't know whether or not it was gonna. I'm not a scientist, but it was basically like when the explosion went off, it might light the atmosphere, and then we all would die.
We could have all died.
So
right.
they, there was a chance of that, and they just decided to just pull the lever on that without consulting the rest of the people.
Right.
It's like, who are you
John
guys?
From
Like,
Lost
what?
Shit.
Yeah, are you serious?
I made a mistake. Yeah, so that's where the song put me, guys. I'm just like, phew, like, wow, like the world we're living in is about to get extremely interesting. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be one of those things where did you really have an all-encompassing worldview? Yeah,
exactly.
It's going to be very interesting to see, like, which worldviews survive and which ones are going to be transformed to the point of irrecognizability,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I feel like we could probably beat aliens in hand-to-hand, non-tech combat. Right, but these beings are communicating telepathically, and they apparently have the ability to make people hallucinate, so you would never get to the point where you could give them an eye jammy. You know what I'm saying? Shit is real out here, boy. I'm going to give this one a 9.2. Conversational love. 9.2.
Yeah, I'm at you. 9.2.
It was a very, very, very good song. And I love that, what do you call that? Groove?
Yeah, groove metal. Groove metal.
I'm gonna learn this song. Because once I learn that song, then I'm gonna be able to go, okay, so this is how we're doing it.
Okay.
Because that's what I wanted. In that first song, that's what I wanted. Because it's like, I'll just use the Korn groove stuff and then just speed it up.
Mm-hmm. And?
That's all I could do. Hey, Kai! We'll see you bums on the other side of the break. Vin out!
Sorry out.
Gone! I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sorry says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinandSorry. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sorry and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Shout out to Mark Zuckerberg, who admitted today that he was working on behalf of the Democratic National Convention in 2020 to censor people on Facebook to favor Mr. Biden. Good for you for admitting it, sir. You let a lot of us get called conspiracy theorists, all type of stuff. Shout out to Mr. Zuckerberg getting in front of that scandal. I see what you did there.
Unbelievable. I don't.
Titan, Warlock, and Hunter. Wow.
All right. So we have female-led rock or punk bands winner. Here you are.
Jazakallahu khair. You know how black folks love us some orange soda.
Oh my gosh. Female-led rock or
somebody to be so uncomfortable.
Right along. Female-led rock or punk bands winner, WARLOCK, All We Are. So, this is for Anarchy 99. No, Sin and Glory.
Sin and Glory.
The winner of Scotty's theme female-led rock or punk bands was German heavy metal band WARLOCK with their song All We from their 1987 album Triumph and Agony. This is Mad Maestro's pick. Archero took the picture of the lead singer Doro in March, which is right here, and it's on the white screen and also the thumbnail.
All right, here we go. This better be a banger. This better be a banger. WARLOCK, All We Are with the lyrics. Let's check it out now. Kai in this bitch.
All we are, all we are, we are all.
I love that.
All we need.
All we are, all we are, we are all we need.
Okay. Gang shit, let's go. M-Thing, baby. M-Gang in this bitch. You know what it is. You know what it is. See that? See, that's an M going up. That's an L going down.
Get behind me, I know you know we're all in complete. Let's get together and let's get some relief.
All we are, all we are, we are all we need. All we are, all we are, we are all we need.
Stronger than the mountain of steel. Faster than hell on wheels. We've got all the power we need. Let's burn the playground on this all battlefield.
All we are, all we are, we are all we need. All we are, all we are, we are all we need.
Now we're stronger, we no longer want you breaking us down. We've got the magic, so we wanna spread the magic around. Yeah!
Woohoo!
Now we're stronger, we no longer want you pushing us. All we are, all we are, we are all we need.
All we are, all we are, we are all we need. All we are, all we are, we are all we need. All we are, all we are, we are all we need.
Okay, so this is just we are metalheads. We listen to heavy metal music. You don't know what it is.
You know what
You're
I
an
like?
outsider. We all we got. We all we need. That's a football chant we used to do. We all we got. We all we got. We're all we need. We're all we need. We're all we got. We're all we got. We're all we need. We're all we need. No! Vikings, let's play. 1, 2, 3, Vikings, let's go!
Oh my word! If I could time travel, I would go to one of your games for sure and watch you play.
Oh, I would have loved to. I'd loved it. I'd love to have you seen me in my glory. Yeah.
I would have said something to you. I'd have been like, "Hey, kid, good job out there.
Yeah.
See what you do."
Yeah, especially in baseball. Forget it.
You'd look up at me.
Yeah, baseball it was over with.
Who's this lily white lady?
Yeah, it was over with.
Yeah, you know what I like about this is it puts the idea that you're like in one spot. Okay, now we're stronger. We're no longer we no longer want you bringing us down. We got the magic, so we're gonna spread the magic around. Yeah, so we no longer want you pushing us. So it's like these people that are getting bullied by the big, but we're all together and we're all sick of it together. And so it brings like this togetherness instead of like people that.
Why am I not right in the head? What did I do wrong?
I don't know. I literally don't know. I couldn't tell you.
All right, continue.
Anyway, so yeah, that concept where people are all together in their troubles, like we're all. You no longer want to bring us down. See what I'm saying?
That just reminded the song reminded me of when I discovered Korn, and like I immediately like, this is my shit, and everybody at school was on some gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? Even if they were gangsters, everybody was on some gangster shit, and I'm like, I'm gonna go because I'm kind of an extreme personality. I'm like, I'm gonna go 100,000% on this shit. Black nail polish, all type of shit. Yo, Vince wearing nail polish. What the fuck? I was like, whatever. Come see me, nigga. Like, I was just like, I am gonna represent this because this is what I'm on. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care none of that. All my friends are like, ugh. Then I had my one like real, like my day one guy was like, yo, let me hear some of that shit. And yeah, he stuck with me. But yeah, when I first discovered that band, dude, I just did not care, man. I was gonna express myself. I didn't care. I was like, I'll go to war with the entire borough. I don't give a fuck. Like, this is my music. Mm-hmm. Like these, it's my people. It's my crowd. I loved it. Mm-hmm. I loved it. And I was tired. I was tired, man. I don't care how gangster you think you are, man. That shit is exhausting. It's exhausting. Like every day it's some, But man, once we started our little metal clique, like people left us alone. They're like, man, these guys are corny. You didn't get any points for doing anything to us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a bunch of gay kids, like literally, like, So, because we the only ones that would hang out with them. You know what I mean? So, and it was what it was. I mean, we were not progressive on the gay shit at all. But at the same time, like if they were metalheads or whatever, they were just our people. So we just started rolling with them, and we dealt with it. I mean, you can't expect much from a bunch of
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like that was a crazy time in my life, man. Like I just remember like feeling that defiance, like I'm just gonna do this shit. And I didn't think I thought everybody's gonna drop me and clown me for the rest of the year, but I just didn't give a fuck. And then my best friend was like, nah, that shit's tight. He's like, yo, let me get this record from you real quick. Let me see. So I let him borrow Follow the Leader, and he was like, yo. The next day it was crazy. I'm like, oh man, like wow. So me and him, man, we just did it. They called us the Trench Coat Mafia, all type of shit. Like we didn't care. We didn't care. We were with it.
Oh my gosh.
What?
That was in Lewiston?
Nah. That was in New York.
Oh. Okay. Because I remember when there was like when a crew of people in Lewiston High started wearing trench coats. Anyway,
trench coats,
trench coats. They were started to wear that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if it was you guys, because people were really worried about what it was. Just said it here.
Nah.
Yeah, thanks.
People were worried. I mean, my girlfriend at the time was psychotic. I mean, she was drawing saw stickers in her head threatening gangsters, telling everybody. They're like, "Are you guys gonna shoot up the school?" Because it was like right after Columbine.
What did you say? She might.
I didn't say nothing. Shorty was like, "Yep, come tomorrow. You're on the list." Like she used to say that to people. She used to say that to gangsters. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. So yeah, it was a crazy, and it was weird. Nobody knew how to take it because like I said, Columbine had just happened, and
it was a horrible thing to.
We were all pretty dark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so, it was. People were like didn't really know how to read us. They're like, "Yo, what's going on here?" You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like and like Shorty was so small. The girl I was dating at the time, like she was so small. So people were like, "Yo, how is she this bold? She's really gonna be out here shooting people." So that's what the song reminded me of all of that because like that it was like that growing up, you know. And I don't even know if they would have even if we didn't come out so militant. I don't even know if they would really have like tried anything with us. But I was militant about it. You know, I'd be in the locker room like, "Yo, that shit is trash. That shit is whack. You've never done that in your life. You never done that in your life. You're a virgin. Get out of here. You guys, man, this shit's trash. You guys are real. None of this shit is real, bro." You know what I'm saying? Like, how many trips to Montefiore have you taken? Like, shut up. Like, yeah. Stop. Wow. I'm like, you don't even know the way. Exactly. All gangsters knew how to get to Montefiore Hospital. Because that was your best shot where we were in the particular area that we were in. So, yeah. So, if the person didn't know that route, we knew that they were not in the shit.
Wow.
You weren't in the shit because you don't even know how to get there. So, I mean, you guys are trash. You guys listen to this shit. None of this shit is real. This shit right here is real. Blah, blah, blah. Like, just you know how I am. Like, it's just straight up aggressive about it, man. It's so stupid.
Yeah, you know what I'm doing? When you're at the show.
Oh, yeah. That dude from that trash band. Yeah, man. So, yeah, this song gave me this. Somebody said it. I think it's Steve. Somebody said like this is an anthem.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like this is an anthem. Like Corey used to do that. Like they used to finish with surfacing. Fuck it all. Fuck this world. Fuck everything that you stand for. Man, that was crazy because he did that song at the Pledge of Allegiance tour right after 9/11 happened.
Man.
And he's like, "All right, guys, here's your new national fucking anthem." And he's like, "This is for everybody that try to fuck with our country. You all see what we're about to do to you motherfuckers." And everybody's like, "Yeah." Then Surfacing came on. And everybody was like, and it was like basically like, "Fuck the terrorists. Like, we're going to fucking,
oh my
we're
God.
going to murder every single one of you
so
motherfuckers."
Bad, but also,
oh, man, that energy was crazy. The energy was crazy for that song.
Mm-hmm.
And like that had been, we'd been out there for like 16 hours by this point, you know, because we wanted to get in the front with them, and like we just lost it. But the whole place lost it though when he started that way. It was just like, like metal gives you certain kinds of moments, man. There've been like certain moments in my life where it's like metal was right there. Mm-hmm. And that was one of them, because you know how sensitive I am about the country. You know how much of a, you know.
Yeah.
I fucking love this country. So we got attacked. I was like so angry. I was like, I couldn't even speak sometimes. Like I was like, and Slipknot, like that first record. But then like when we got to hear that song and the him providing that context, man, it was insane.
Wow.
It was just crazy.
I bet. How big was the crowd? Remember
it was huge. It was huge.
Remember the Korn show that we went to?
Yeah.
That stadium, like, is it that size? We talking bigger? Where?
I mean, it was Cumberland County Civic Center. You know what I'm saying? So, Maine.
Oh.
Right? So, but it was in Portland, and like there was no space.
That was in Maine?
Yeah, there was no space anywhere.
Man.
Yeah, so that's what this reminded me of was those moments in Truman High School, and also that watching Slipknot right after 9/11 happened, and like the energy was just so crazy at the time. Like,
yeah,
it's not something you can like replicate ever again, you know, because there's never going to be another 9/11 because we have 9/11 in our background. But when 9/11 happened, there was no 9/11 before that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a real moment in time that you really can't really fathom unless you went through it. And like metal was there. And honestly, like, there's a whole contingency of Muslims at my school, right? Because I did the last year in Maine. And so I was not like pro-Somali at all. Like, at all. Like, I didn't like them dudes because they were Muslims and Muslims attacked my country. See what I'm saying? So I don't even like them dudes. Like, you know, one of them was like talking to my brother, said something reckless to my brother.
Yeah.
I said, what, Nick? So I got up and, you know, Jamie, like, he dragged, chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it was a crazy time, man. Like, so I got all that shit off my chest, and then Corey said something to the effect of, we need to bomb the shit out of these motherfuckers and kill them all, but we can't take it out on our own people. So that was another thing that, like, really hit me, and I was like, all right. Yeah, I mean, they didn't fly any planes enough. Like, what are we doing here? You can't say just because they're Muslim they're not our people. I mean, we're Americans. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it really, like, it, you know, it was one of the things that, like, kind of stuck in my head and said, you can't hate Muslims. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was Corey. So shout out to Corey Taylor.
Wow.
He handled everybody. He handled everything so perfect because he let us be angry. You know, there was some fear there too. Everybody was like, because you didn't know, like, because a week at, like 4 or 5 days after 9/11, there was another plane that crashed in New York, Queens. Actually, my stepdad saw it happen, and everybody said they saw a flash, and then the thing went down, and people were theorizing it was another one of those attacks, but we intercepted it and shot the plane down, but it had a bunch of civvies in it. See what I'm saying? Yeah, so there's just so many, like, memories that are just, like, I kept seeing all the people jumping from the buildings over and over again. Like, so for Corey to be able to say that, like, I was decidedly different, like, for the better after that show. So.
Yeah. No, I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah, Mustafa, of course. The terrorists, the people we call terrorists, are killing more Muslims than anybody else. I mean, look at ISIS. ISIS's victims were almost exclusively Muslim. So, yeah. So, that's. So I gotta give it at least a 9. What's off?
No, it's back on.
Okay, this is gonna get a 9.8 from me because it just brought me back to so much.
Yeah.
It brought
like
me
her
back
vocal
to
style,
so much. Yeah.
Or it's got that sort of like grungy 80s deeper sort of sound to it. Definitely. I mean I liked the song. I liked it. I'm gonna go with a. You give it a 9.8?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a 9.7.
Really good song. Really good song.
Yeah. Really strong vocalist. I wonder what they sound like now. Because we heard a version from back in the 80s, didn't we?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna
1987. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna do a little Ask Me Anything. Because we did our songs. Vin, do you think the NWO was responsible for 9/11? NWO, I'm assuming you're talking about the deep state or the shadow government. Were they responsible for 9/11? I think that there are some agencies in our government that have the idea that you can map out human behavior by predictability scales, and there's literally thousands of points of data that you could use to predict certain kinds of behaviors and actions, which then, if you want those behaviors and actions to continue, you would disable certain parameters of protection against it. And if you wanted the action to discontinue, you could literally press a button and discontinue it. So we've got a dude who's only learning how to fly, doesn't care about landing. Dude at the Cessna place, whatever, calls up the FBI. The FBI hears about it, does nothing. And so we continuously, it's like the Putin thing, for example. That is something where if you look at predictability markers, every year that we were fucking with him, the likelihood of his invasion of Ukraine was going to increase. And so, you know, Cheney's got the famous phrase, you know, never let a crisis go to waste. Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yep.
And so, I don't think that the shadow government need to be behind every single action for us to say that they're not responsible. Because again, if you can master human predictability scales,
Yeah.
and you combine it with opportunity, eventually
Exactly.
somebody's gonna do something.
Yep.
Same thing with Pearl Harbor, right? Like, we could have stopped Pearl Harbor. Everybody knows that. But there were certain elements at play that wanted to enter into the war, especially towards the end of the war, because of the ramifications of what it would mean for us in the world after World War II. And they were absolutely right to do that because we ended up being the lone superpower. So that question is not a simplistic question to me. Do I believe Muhammad Atta and the rest of those boys were motivated to do what they did? Yep. And I also believe that we created the environment in which they would have that motivation, and then we let these guys go loose, even though regular folks were calling it up and seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I look at it, because what happened, 9/11 actually happened, and I don't believe that our government drove the planes into the buildings or whatever. What I will tell you, though, is that I don't care what anybody says. You can call it Mandela, whatever. But they were doing live reporting, and a lot of those people said that they heard explosions soon after the plane hit. But the explosions were beneath them.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of fluky shit happening with 9/11.
Oh, so you think that now too?
No, well, it's not that I think that. I heard the guy say it with my own 2 ears. He said it. I heard 2 or 3 people said it,
think
actually.
that there's fluky shit that went on.
Well, yeah, because like I said, if you have predictability markers and they're working pretty well, you can create situations where that kind of an action is inevitable. Now, the specific act of like flying a plane, probably not, but you don't need that. You could also have, you know, clack off a suicide vest in middle of Manhattan, in the middle of Times Square. Clack off your suicide vest in Yankee Stadium, like while the Yankees are playing. Like, there's a million, you know, so everybody could see it live. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't need to be that specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just needs to be, we're going to instigate this terrorist organization. We're going to get infiltrated by these people. We have eyes on Muhammad Atta, all the rest of, we had eyes on these people when they crossed over. And we're just going to let them cook. Because eventually he's going to do some shit, and then we can initiate whatever. So that's how how I look at it.
I see.
It's not as, you're never going to find like a document where like the CIA says we're going to do 9/11 in it. That's why they're so dangerous, you know, or depending how you look at it. Like, they've got very clear goals and aims, and doing 9/11s is not on them.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing about the agency is they love that plausible deniability, because these are unelected people. So that's why the president's on a need to know with these people.
Yep.
These people are not elected by the, you know what I'm saying?
These people stay.
And it's weird because they're supposed to work for the
What? I mean,
exactly. Yeah, Building 7. Look, man. Yeah, a lot of crazy shit. Then we had UBL and Tora Bora. We had him. Weren't allowed to kill him. I mean, just a lot of fluky shit, man. You know, like, all right. Then let's do a conspiracy together. All right.
which one?
Let's see. What you thinking about, bro? I got 5 minutes left.
Should I summon more salsa?
Somebody said to me, like, you answered that question and didn't answer that question.
It's tortilla chips. You know, the ones that you like corn tortilla chips with melted cheese on it, dipping it in salsa.
Warm salsa though.
Yeah. Yeah. Vinny got me out of that. Warming up the salsa. Never did that before.
Who do you think will win between Trump and Kamala? It's very hard for me to conceive of Kamala Harris beating Trump when 4 years ago she vacated her campaign because they were going to go to California, her home state, and she was about to place fourth in her own home state. When the Biden administration started, Biden used her as a human shield to naming her the border czar, when he knew good and well that the complexities of that situation were such that I haven't heard a single. I mean, you guys know I'm a very liberal when it comes to the border thing, especially but you know, as people in my family have pointed out to me, how do you know that little Julio is truly the 5-year-old son of Juan?
Yeah.
How do you know Juan is not a child trafficker, sex offender who has kidnapped Julio from his mother and father? So while you have your bleeding heart there, Vinny, this kid's gonna be bleeding too. See? So the shit is not as simple as everybody wants us to think it is. You know, like you got, what's her face? AOC, abolish ICE. My brother's like, 90% of those dudes are Hispanic, bro. Because, you know, you want them to be bilingual for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
He's like, these dudes are dealing with their own cousins and shit. Like, think. They share a border.
Yeah.
So if you're Hispanic, like, you got family members over there. And we just saw, I mean, it was a movie, but people die of exposure, thirst, all type of shit. So all these situations are, like, really complicated. Mr. Biden knew that, and he sent her out there and used her as a human shield, naming her the border czar, all this other shit. Then CNN turned against her when CNN kept publishing these leaked reports about how people keep quitting her campaign, people keep quitting working for her. She's a terrible vice president. And now all of a sudden, she's going to beat Donald Trump. Like, okay, it might happen. It might happen. It's possible. Vin, do you believe that the CIA is behind you? Absolutely, I do. I still believe that God has his hand on President Trump on July 13th. That's without question. Anybody that sees that video, that was absolutely divine intervention. I don't care what anybody says.
Trump?
Like,
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
No way. I don't believe that kid did what he did by himself. And I also don't believe that Trump is alive today because of himself.
100%. Yeah.
I believe both.
Yeah. I agree with that.
But this is what I said during the Epstein assassination, where I said, I have not met a single Homo sapien that believes that this dude killed himself.
Right.
So then I'm like, that means that the entire country believes that this guy, that our leaders, current leaders, are so perverted that they would murder this high visibility character.
Yep.
And if they can do that to a high visibility character with a lot of money and a lot of connections, considering his ethnicity, if you could do that to that guy, what do you think they would do to you?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. He's a child predator, whatever. Okay? But we have laws for a reason. And so,
yeah.
But because, we hate child predators, the government was able to kill this guy right in front of us. And nobody's crying for him because he's an evil child molester, but at the same time, it's like, yo, we just opened up Pandora's box here.
Yes, absolutely. No, 100%.
You know? So I just don't know, man. I don't. There's a lot of fluky shit happening. I don't really trust our government. I really don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you got a country that will kill you in broad daylight in front of its citizens and then lie to the citizenry, and the citizens are saying, we know you're lying, and they still lie. So what can be done? Vin, what do you think about Tim Waltz? I don't know enough about Tim Waltz. I mean, I heard the Stolen Valor thing. Obviously, I have a serious problem with that. But he's a politician and they're all liars. I don't know much about his policies. I just know that he loves his kids very deeply. And I think he did a damn good job, particularly with his son. What is the strangest thing you can put peanut butter on?
You can put peanut butter on them.
Did you summon more salsa?
I did, but, you know.
Yeah, everything's going to take so long.
Yep.
All right, I got one more question to go, dear listener.
Pears. Ew,
one more question to go.
I put, the strangest thing that we literally put
I still
peanut
want to
butter
know
on,
how a 20-year-old...
I put peanut butter on a celery stick, but I don't know if that's super strange. People do that. I think.
I still want to know how a 20-year-old soy boy was able to get past Secret Service and Butler County Sheriff's officers. Again, like, exactly. I mean, come on. Like, come on, man. Like,
I know.
This is not.
Yep.
This is not rocket science. It really isn't. It really, really is.
Yeah, they bank on our judgment of the person rather than us looking at the overall picture of what that situation means. The fact that he's able to just get killed and all of us know it and nothing's being done, no investigation,
we really want to do this?
Yeah.
This is what we're doing now?
So
okay.
As long as you demonize somebody, then we can just kill him off.
None of us have any proof. None of us have any proof that this man did any of that shit.
Because the trial didn't happen.
The trial didn't happen. That's how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to be judged by a jury of your peers and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then he goes and offs himself. Okay. I mean, all right.
Yeah.
We were at a corn show and woke up the next day. And I'm like, babe, look at this shit. This guy Epstein is out of here.
Yep. Unbelievable.
What do you think of RFK endorsing Trump? I haven't really followed RFK. I do know that he's a huge supporter of the Israelis, and I'm not really a fan of killing 100,000 people because 8,000 people died in a day, especially when you're from a country that will kill its own hostages. So I just think it's a difficult thing to navigate for sure. All right, you beautiful people, thank you for coming through. We will check you on another day, same bad time, same bad channel. Vin out.